levels. 120! I worked hard! Too hard!
If you're watching this video right now and you have not yet watched Kengan Ashura, turn the video off right now. Go watch Kengan. Go watch it. It's free on. It's a great anime. Everybody loves it, quite frankly. It's on Netflix. You can watch both of the seasons. Go watch it right now. I don't care if you like the other animes. This one is probably better.
You can take all the fucking back and Mario Cat and all them fucking animes and stick them up your fucking ass! Think about it! The voice! That's the voice! That's tell me! Who that thing?
And I'm saying, I mean that as a joke, kind of. It's not a. Listen, the show's not great, but the show is very funny to watch. I was showing my friend he's a big like movie critic, he's one of those kind of guys. He's like my best friend, and I was watching this with him, and he was like, he said the dialogue is so on the nose, because like the very first scene of the anime, like one of the main characters is watching the main character fight a guy. He was like, but this isn't like a fictional story. The small guy can't beat the big guy. That's just not how it works. So it's so childish. And then after the very first scene, like the old guy who's like the plot of the anime is, I'm getting ahead of myself. The plot of the anime is, there's a guy he's a fighter, and he's like a street fighter, and this businessman finds him, and the businessman's like a total loser. He finds this fighter, and then they get accepted into this like secret fighting society where businesses will settle their disputes by having fighters that represent their company. They'll do underground death matches, pretty much. Like, I think in one of the scenes, like they were fighting for construction rights or something. Like it's just it's outrageous. I think this was the first season. There's a scene. You don't watch the dubbed version. Watch the subbed version, because in the subbed version there's a character in the show called Jerry Tyson, and he's a black American, and the voice actor in Japanese tries to sound like a black American, and he like says English words, but you can tell this voice actor, God bless him, he did his best, but it just comes across so racist. I'm not even gonna try to imitate it. I'll just put a clip in.
Scud missile! Kangaroo! Jerry! Dosuru! What to do? Dosuru! What to do?
His English actually isn't that bad compared to some of the other shit I've heard. You ever seen that one clip from fucking Hellsing Ultimate where Father Anderson's trying to say a prayer, and it's so bad.
If anyone does not love the Lord, Jesus Christ, let him be accused, O Lord. Come, amen.
It's just, this fucking show is so silly. It's not a very, I'll say this, it's not a very progressive show. There's a guy in the show who's, there's a guy in the show who's one of the fighters. He's like a cross-dresser or something, and the guy just starts calling him slurs. There's like bizarre gay undertones in the show too, like constantly throughout. It's like here's a clip from the very first episode.
Seriously, what a body this man has. From an aesthetic standpoint, he's at the highest level. In fact, he's just like an ancient Greek statue. What am I thinking? I'm not of that persuasion. Not at all.
And then, so what's his name? Oma, the main character, his arch nemesis is he's just some gay guy who's like obsessed with him. He has like this, it's like really bizarre. I do appreciate how in the show, I understand it's not a realistic show by any stretch of the imagination, but all of the fighters, it's not like some 16-year-old prodigy like Baki or My Hero, like where all the characters are somehow the most gifted fighters you've ever fucking seen, and they're all like 12. I think all the fighters are like 30 or like late 20s, early 30s, so it's like quasi-realistic in that sense, not in the sense that their techniques and all that. That's obviously not realistic, but like they're realistically aged fighters, so you're not just watching a bunch of fucking kids run around, which is a breath of fresh air from a lot of other animes. But the show, I mean, I don't even know. I just love this show. I don't even know why. It's just so goofy, but so fun to watch because it's CG. Like most of the anime is CGI. It's 3D CG. It's like Attack on Titan, but it's not. It's like they do it well. It's like it's Beast. It's kind of like Beastars quality, not quite Beastars quality, but it's not bad. The fights are all really well choreographed too, because the CG allows them to do a lot of like the CG. The choreographing of the fight in the CG is pretty good. And the characters usually don't like. It's like the typical anime thing where all of their attacks have signature move, but instead of them screaming out their moves, it just comes in like. Well, at least not all the time, but a lot of the time, the name of the attack will come in like some big bold text on the screen. And this show is fucking brutal too. Like one of the fights, one of Oma's enemies, he just like snaps a guy's neck and kills him. It's fucking brutal. They fucking kick each other in the balls too. Like here's a scene where fucking the main guy kicks the fucking dude in the balls. There's like tons of like bones getting broken and shit, and like joints getting torn out. But this show, I like found it last month, and I just fucking binged it within a week. I watched all 24 episodes, and to be fair, I skipped ahead. I skipped ahead a little bit, you know. I really only wanted to see Oma, the main character's fights, because he's the most entertaining. I didn't really care too much about all the other storylines. It's fun to watch the other guys' fights. What the fuck is his name? Rhinon, like the guy who turns purple. His fights are pretty cool too, because his attacks are so. He's the guy that like snaps the necks and shit. But yeah, that was the anime I binged recently, and then I've also been rewatching. And I might catch some flack for this, but I think it's no secret. I enjoy some Dragon Ball Z. I uploaded a little meme video about Dragon Ball Z a couple days ago. Did a little YouTube poop style thing. I understand a lot of people nowadays think Dragon Ball Z hasn't aged well. To that I say, fuck you, you're wrong. I don't care what anyone says. You cannot get a more classic, iconic fighting anime than Dragon Ball Z. And I think it aged quite well. If you don't like sitting through the long things, you can skip ahead, you know. It's not like back in the day where you had to sit through, you couldn't fast forward on your TV. You can just watch it on your laptop and skip ahead. I would say watch Dragon Ball Z Kai, but I'm not going to use my platform to advertise that fucking piece of shit, because although they cut out the filler, they also cut out Bruce Faulconer's soundtrack, which is the only thing that it's not the only thing, but it's 50% of why the original Dragon Ball Z is so great, is that amazing soundtrack. I'm rewatching the Boo Saga, and a lot of people don't like the Boo Saga. Again, you're wrong. I watched Critical's total anime tier list thing that he did, and he said, this is not a conversation we're ready to have, but Dragon Ball Z hasn't aged well. And I'd like to call him out, and I'd like to say, you're wrong. Fuck you. Gonna start like a huge beef over Dragon Ball Z. No, I understand if you don't think the show has aged well. For me, I grew up watching it, and I still love the show. I get, a lot of it is sort of, you can skip through it, all right? You can, if you don't like sitting through the nonsense, if you don't want to watch Piccolo and Goku get their driver's license for 40 episodes, just fucking skip through it, all right? You don't have to watch it. But I won't sit here and let other people slander the good name of that anime, because that is the animation has even aged well in the fights. I know for a lot of Dragon Ball Super's animation was dog shit compared to Z, and people love Super. No. The fucking characters in Dragon Ball Super look like they're made of bubblegum, and then I get shit on because I say I like Z. Get out of here. Pretty much all I listen to nowadays in the gym is just like Dragon Ball Z remixes to like hardstyle and dubstep. And I think we can all agree when I say that that's great gym music. I don't think there's no disagreement there. And just the art style of the old Dragon Ball Z from the 80s and late 80s and 90s. I mean, that's the best art style in all of anime ever. And yeah, I'll stand by that statement. I don't think you can prove me wrong, actually. It was so beautiful and so colorful. The everything about it was so aesthetically pleasing, from the character designs to the environment designs to the colors that they used to how they made certain characters look serious and certain characters goofy, and they could change the art style from time to time. It was just it is the best art out of any anime ever, with maybe the exception of JoJo, because JoJo is very unique, but I don't think any other anime even comes close to even touching the art style that Dragon Ball Z had, which was another disappointment I had with Dragon Ball Super. I should just make a separate video on why I don't like... Well, I like Dragon Ball Super, but it fails to live up to the standard that Z set. But the art style in Dragon Ball Super, especially for the Tournament of Power, was hideous. It was just all brown and brown and green. It was grotesque. But I've rambled on long enough about... This was just supposed to be a Kengan Ashura video, and then I fucking went off on the Dragon Ball tangent. But alright, go watch Kengan Ashura. It's a tremendous anime. Just fun-wise. Maybe plot-wise and everything else, no, but in terms of animes you'll have fun watching, it ranks very high. And that's it. Go watch it.